Got both, and we back with another one. We got who is the most degenerate influencer? Like, the times that we're in, bro. I always say it in every video, bro. These influencers only have power because we have a lot of sheep-minded folks out there that can't think for themselves, bro. We have a lot of clout chasing. And unfortunately, in this generation, clout chasing is the new drug. Everybody's looking for the next big high, especially when you get success really early, right? When the first couple of things that you do go viral and you start to get comments and attention and people start to recognize you for oftentimes doing the wrong shit, the high only increases, right? I need more attention. I need more clicks. I need more people to say my name and share my content. And I get it, bro. I get the position of the influencers, but they're only as strong as the people that follow them. And unfortunately, you got a lot of sheep-minded people that can't think for themselves, that follow these guys no matter how far they're willing to go for clout. And I get it, right? Because clout is subjective. Maybe you could say, since I have a reaction channel, maybe you could say, Gabos, you're chasing clout. What's the difference between the clout that you're chasing and the clout that they're chasing? My thing is, get your attention how you want it, bro, as long as you being yourself. As long as you being yourself and you being considerate of other people, son. A lot of these pranks, a lot of these influencers, they do the most for attention. I just react to shit and give you a decent opinion. Whatever, if you want to judge me, I don't give a damn. But we're going to get into who is the most degenerate influencer.
In 2024, influencers are the ones building our culture and leading the next generation. They are reshaping not only the landscape of entertainment, but also the psychological and social fabric of their audiences. But what happens when these influencers become more and more desperate for views, more and more desensitized and craving more dopamine? And what are the results when people try to be those they watch every day? Well, it leads to what you'll see in this video, where we will go over the worst influencers that are rotting our culture, starting with Adam22. Now, for those who don't know, Adam22 made a name for himself as a podcast host and internet personality, known primarily for his YouTube channel No Jumper. He had gained recognition for his interviews with up-and-coming hip-hop artists and figures from the urban culture scene, having one of the biggest podcasts in the niche, going viral on all of social media for years. But in March of 2018, a Twitter user posted a now-deleted thread that included screenshots allegedly proving that Adam22 had a sexual relationship with a girl when she was just 16, and he was in his 20s at the time. The thread also suggested that he might have sexually assaulted her. Now, of course, this was controversial and couldn't really be proven, but later on he would actually openly acknowledge the relationship in a blog post, and also shared explicit images of Degenerate, the young female he supposedly abused. However, Adam completely denied the accusations of sexual misconduct, but for years this sordid story disappeared from the public spotlight. However, in March of this year, while filming a podcast episode, the predator catching platform official Perv Busters confronted Adam regarding these allegations.
I'll be a hypocrite if I don't address the situation that happened with you.
There is no situation with me.
The one where you was messing with the 16-year-old girl?
It never happened. What do you think happened?
And so Adam would respond by booting them off of his show, reigniting public interest in this entire controversy.
Wait.
We can't take that jacket off of nobody.
Right? You gotta go.
Hey, man, you know.
But it would only get worse from there. You see, as things started stagnating, his life started to get more boring. After the honeymoon period of his marriage, Adam22 wanted to change things. He wanted to make more money, more influence, and more fame. And why not spice up his relationship at the same time? So how would he go about doing this? Well, by seeing his partner getting frisky with other people for money. Now, most men are very uncomfortable with the thought of their partner sleeping with other men, but Adam22 isn't most men. He will do anything for views. He will do anything for money. You see, Adam22 is also an adult star, with his other adult podcast show being widely regarded in the adult content world. And in these podcasts, he would often end up having threesomes with the girl he'd be podcasting, along with his wife. But this would begin to change as soon as he married Lena the Plug. And in June of 2023, Lena the Plug announced her first ever.
Listen, man, I typically don't voice my opinion on people's marriages, considering I've never been married a day in my life. So, you know, I like to keep it humble when I'm speaking on things I have yet to experience. With that being said, bro, when you make certain aspects of your marriage public, you know, you only open it for public scrutiny. This is far out my lane, bro. Like, when I tell you I would never allow my wife to get donkey fucked by this black gentleman over here, it just will never happen, bro. And the notion of doing it for attention, for a story, for a narrative, is beyond me in the most intoxicated fashion. This is clout chasing at its premium. You know what I'm saying? It's just not my lane. And I typically don't speak on people that's married, but this was a little funky for me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just your wife, bro. Like he just threw out the manual God for manhood out the window. Like, what? Your wife, bro? I got kids. That's weird to
video
me.
with another man, aptly named Jason Love. Previously, Lena had solely collaborated on videos with other females than Adam himself, but in this case, Adam22 would hype up the video between Lena and another man. They were building up the suspense on Twitter, and their OnlyFans subscriptions went through the roof. The marketing was genius, but also completely debauched and morally bankrupt.
Ever interested in doing your first ever double penetration scene that me and Lena, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like,
yo, dude,
would he be a suitable candidate? Would you, can I tap him in?
I don't know.
There's absolutely 0% chance of that happening. And it's not because of
Is he like selling his wife to two? He's like, yo, what? I know y'all. He's like auctioning his wife to the highest bidder on social media. Nah, this is disgusting work. This is filthy work, ladies and gentlemen.
Lena is particularly unattractive is because she's married to Adam, and I have no interest in degenerate, pointless sex, and I have no interest in making a spectacle of myself or even just involving myself in anything which I deem to be overall haram and pointless.
Especially considering that Lena and Adam have a child. And soon after all the hype, after all the build-up, and Adam marketing this as much as possible, he would unveil to the world a video of his wife getting penetrated by another man, and in the process losing all of his dignity and self-respect. Because soon after the video went viral, Adam22 encountered a whole host of online criticism as individuals began labeling him as a cuckold for permitting his wife to engage in a sexual encounter with another man. Adam even discussed this matter with Sneeko, but he would express his acceptance of Jason Love, stating that allowing Lena to partake in the scene was a beneficial career move for her, but a death sentence for his. Even though the couple would make millions from this, was it really worth sacrificing their entire family? The backlash on Twitter against this continued to gain traction in early July, and that's when Adam began addressing it through his tweets, defending both his and his wife's decision. In one of his tweets, he expresses his indifference towards being called a cuck, stating that he found the video to be utterly arousing. In another tweet, however, his true feelings became more apparent, with the 40-year-old content creator acknowledging that he felt a slight sense of jealousy initially regarding their decision, and since then, the No Jumper host has shown no self-respect, embracing the backlash and dismissing any criticisms that have come his way.
Yo, Adam, you let yo.
Isn't it crazy that you guessed it on here? Like, before I had even really hinted at it,
You really
you
did
guessed
that?
it.
You watched it?
I didn't watch it. I'll probably see some chunks of it.
So you just like was in another room listening to her moan and groan and shit?
No, she was at a hotel being filmed by a professional. And down by a professional, to be totally honest.
Right, so when you say there was an underlying value, what is the
What?
underlying value of your wife getting railed by a big black guy?
Probably just money primarily, but then also
Nah. This ain't real, bro. Damn, Adam. Damn. Like, just prostituting your wife publicly and basically saying you allowed it to happen because you needed bread from, like, this. I ain't gonna front, bro. This is the definition of selling your soul, man. I don't know if Adam22 even has a soul. Your wife? You know what I'm saying? Like back in my hood, I know niggas that would die about this. You know, just mere talking to their wives. You letting a whole other man, and he fine with that, bro. It's the lack of shame for me, bro. He's straight. Like, it's only Tuesday. You know what I mean? You let another man donkey pound your wife? Shit, it's only Wednesday. Like, what?
so
Instead of being honest and admitting that the idea of his wife sleeping with another man was a terrible idea, even if it made him loads of money and fame, Adam instead doubled down on it, appearing on podcasts like Bradley Martin's and insisting that it was an excellent idea. You know, because he and his wife made loads of money from the sordid affair.
I mean, bro, the first question I have is like, why?
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 Yeah.
I guess like number one on the list would probably just be like money.
Rather absurdly, but not really surprisingly, Adam and Lena would then double down on this, releasing their own show titled For the Love of Lena, which sees 10 men compete for the chance to partake in a threesome with a duo. And although the show was free to watch, the threesome was only accessible on OnlyFans, of course, making them even more money by whoring out his wife. But what Adam and Lena failed to realize is that all the views and money in the world cannot buy you dignity, and they can definitely not buy you respect. Now his entire family has been ruined, his credibility destroyed, but at least he's gained millions and millions of dollars. This is the sort of content that's developing our culture today. Instead of Shakespeare's, we're starting to have Adam22's raised teenagers teenagers. This is where our society is headed, where individuals desperate for money and validation will go to the bottom of the barrel to outshock each other, completely whoring out their bodies and family just for more attention. But of course, Adam22 isn't the only talentless and tasteless influencer ruining our culture today. There's also Neon, real name Rangesh Mutama,
next
an
story.
American YouTuber turned streamer.
Next story, bro, please.
Gained recognition as a prominent NBA 2K content creator. But in recent times, however, he was inspired by the culture of streamers like Aiden Ross. And this is when Neon's content became scandalous and considerably more clickbaity. In short, he is morphed into a full-blown liar who even faked his own death on a YouTube video.
Someone else, okay? I don't want to make y'all stop losing my content. And lastly, bro, I'm gonna be recording a few videos with other YouTubers so you guys can still see me for a little bit until like you know, if the surgery doesn't go well. Because if the surgery does not go well, I'll bleed out to death. And if that happens, you know, that's what's gonna happen.
And is almost universally hated by everyone online for his stupidity. Nevertheless, after faking his death, the 19-year-old continued on as if nothing had ever happened. In May of this year, Neon then appeared on a live stream with Aiden Ross and Sneeko, and what initially began as an open discussion with morbidly obese Ali C. Lopez, a blogger turned TikTok personality, quickly turned into a vicious attack. Now, I'm not really a fan of Lopez, but it's safe to say that Neon probably crossed a line here. The explicit tirade got so intense that even Sneeko, a content creator who often lacks a filter, decided to actually leave in the middle of the discussion. Now, of course, this was done for attention and clicks. The more you insult someone and the more controversial you can be, the more people respond, the more reactions you get, and the more polarizing you are. And when you're polarizing, you always gain more fans and more notoriety. During this period, Neon would insult everyone, even Adam22. No matter what, he would take down anyone. And whilst it might have been entertaining, it was just also bottom of the barrel entertainment. What's the point in this stuff? Who wants to waste their time watching this garbage? It's just mindless and toxic. This is the stuff iPad kids are growing up with. But as he continued to grow in popularity, Neon would eventually receive some karma. In a video that caused quite a stir, Neon could be seen trembling in fear as alleged thieves stole his phone and shoes. However, almost everyone was skeptical if this was even authentic. At first, people thought this was karma, but then it just seemed completely fake. Another lie for clicks, deceiving his family.
I ain't gonna front. That's one thing you've definitely seen since the rise of social media, and especially like influencers. Like we've seen a lot of geeks build a lot of big platforms where, you know, talking crazy gets them attention. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, like these are the same dudes that go to school, don't talk, don't even make eye contact with you, bro. You know what I mean? Won't even make eye contact with you. They live a completely different world from everybody else because they just, in person, they're not really like that. But behind the internet, come on, man. Like, the Twitter fingers get the popping, and then, you know, these guys get clout off of that. This kid don't look like he could take on, like, who's he beating up? Come on, dog. You know what I mean? Like, and for him to get his clout off of disrespecting other people, like, it's just corny to me.
Base once again, but it did go viral, helping Neon even further catapult his fame. Neon would even call himself a bitch, and in a somber tone, he seemed to lament, wanting Andrew Tate to be his new daddy.
I'm not gonna lie, bro, I just wanna say this, Andrew Tate, if you're watching this video, bro, I really appreciate you, bro. I really, really do. You're a fucking great human being, bro. You're an amazing human, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think anyone else is doing that. After someone literally sat there on the internet for 10 to 15 minutes and tried shitting on you, you come back, and you wanna help me. And I'm gonna be honest, I need help. I do.
But of course, this was just to go viral. None of this was authentic, real, but it was entertaining for most. But more and more, Neon would just hang out with these hoes in LA and Miami, getting a new OnlyFans girlfriend simply for clout, and doing anything he could to get into
This nigga faked getting robbed for clout.
influencer parties. Eventually, this sort of degenerate behavior got him criticized by Andrew Tate.
But Neon, or whatever his name is, he's a clown and Zerk's a clown. I don't want to insult them too much, but they're just children being stupid.
Why? Well, for using OnlyFans models in their video. Tate, a man who once ran a seedy webcam business himself that exploited lonely men for cash, accused Neon of lacking any creativity and of seeking cheap clicks by associating himself with questionable models, calling Neon a moron and accusing him of degrading himself. And to be fair, it's completely true. And then more recently, just before the latest UFC event, UFC 296, Neon told his fans that he would confront Donald Trump at the event. However, after UFC officials were informed about his intentions, they denied the streamer any entry to the event.
When you start saying stupid shit like that, yeah, you're probably going to get busted up and thrown out of here, you know, making threats and talking dumb shit.
One doesn't really need to be a genius to think that Neon will continue doing what he does best, talking stupid shit. But why is this stuff popular in the first place? Do you really have to be at the bottom of the barrel? Do you have to go so low to get views? And is this who's going to be raising Generation Alpha? And as the worst, most stupid behavior gets rewarded with more and more money and attention, this stuff's only going to continue more and more. There's going to be an infinite amount of Neons, and to accompany them, their OnlyFans girlfriends. But speaking of spreading manure with one's mouth, it's time we discuss Ruby Rose, a controversial influencer with more than 5 million Instagram followers. Rose is known for many things, few of them any good. Ostensibly, she's a singer and songwriter. In reality, however, she's just an OnlyFans model. And after all, genuinely talented singers and songwriters sing and write songs. They didn't really expose themselves on OnlyFans unless they were a stripper to begin with. Although Rose appears to have quite a following, it's important to remember that appearances can be incredibly deceptive. But in late 2023, she would become famous, going viral across the internet, as the OnlyFans star revealed a string of messages from a supposedly desperate fan of hers. Everyone everywhere, Penguin Zero, all of Twitter, Reddit, every corner of the internet was speaking about it. This man, a top spender on OnlyFans, expressed his love for her. In the initial messages, the man questioned why Rose hadn't been responding to his messages, emphasizing the significant amount of money he had invested in their relationship. He always wondered why Rose didn't love him as much as he loved her. "You're absolutely perfect. There was no one else like you in the world," the man wrote. "You could be my queen and I would be your king. I would give you anything you desire. We could even have an unconventional relationship where you have the freedom to do as you please, as long as I know that you come back to me at the end of the day. I promise to treat you better than anyone else, Ruby. I love you with all my heart," he wrote. Obviously smitten, he continued, "I have never felt this way with anyone before. I want to marry you, start a family with you, and be exclusively yours. I would give up everything and
The notion that some women think that all men are dogs has been like one of the most misleading caps of all time, son. And it's like, you could use a small example like this gentleman over here who just, we got men that fall in love with women that they've never met before, son. Meanwhile, you thinking all these guys are out here sleeping with all these chicks. We got men imagining relationships in their minds, bro. That's how bad it is out here. This is next degree simping. Simping, bro. Like, what? And again, this comes with clout. This builds clout for not only, Ruby Rose, obviously, but even this guy who probably got mad people following him just off of this antic alone.
sacrifice anything just for you. I'm willing to do anything for you to love me, and I will give you everything I have for the chance that you will never leave me. I want you to be with me forever. In my eyes, I had never seen or known anything that I am so certain will be perfect, which almost sounded too good to be true. So infatuated with Rose, the guy known as Brandon even got a tattoo of her face on his leg. Soon after, however, the truth emerged, and it wasn't really pretty. Not for Rose anyway. This was just one giant advert, as Rose's alleged #1 subscriber came forward to address the $60,000 controversy surrounding the rapper, asserting that it was all a ploy to promote her account. What a shock. And it was genius, because everyone on the internet was talking about it. In an interview with the aforementioned cuck of the year, Adam22, the man who was portrayed as an excessively obsessed fan spilled the beans, insisting that he never actually purchased any of Ruby's content on OnlyFans, and that the $60,000 actually belonged to someone else entirely, not him, probably the marketing team. He also claimed that Ruby's team had contacted him and paid him to stage the hoax.
I didn't purchase none of her OnlyFans content. I just went and took a picture with Ruby Rose, right?
Okay.
I got paid for it. I didn't know exactly what it was for, and I met up with her. Take this picture. Next day, I'm like the fucking OnlyFans top spender. And they kind of let me know that I was gonna be like this, like one of her like subscribers, I guess, on OnlyFans or something like that, right? I was like, okay, that sounds cool. You know, I didn't know it was gonna blow up to this big, huge story. At the same time, I'm like getting all this like hate and shit.
And although he did agree to have Rose's name tattooed on the back of his leg, which is really creepy, he was paid approximately $15,000 to $20,000 to ink his body, a move he will probably regret for many, many years to come. But it shows how easy it is for these OnlyFans stars to manipulate Twitter's algorithm, and thus the entirety of YouTube, to promote OnlyFans garbage. This is the ultimate advertisement. It's all fake. Anytime you see a controversy surrounding some OnlyFans star, always look behind the motive. Degenerates like Ruby Rose will continue to plague the internet and our culture and society with these subconscious and yet genius marketing tactics. But no one is more
So that was a cap?
degenerate and sneaky than the Paul brothers. Now today we see them in the WWE and the boxing ring. Both of them seem to be doing remarkably well, accelerating their careers hugely from YouTube. But on closer inspection, these people have gotten away with everything, showing that if you have enough clout, following, and money, you can do pretty much anything you want, with both men having been accused of a whole array of scandals. But one of the worst they've ever done is their crypto-related scams and stealing money from their fans. There's a reason why the search for Paul Brothers scam brings up so many videos on TikTok. It's because the brothers have used this platform and other popular social media platforms to sell thousands of fans around the world very expensive lies. And of the two, however, Logan is by far the biggest sinner. He's not only thrown his friends and colleagues under the bus and gained a reputation as being as fake as you can be, he's also been involved in one of the worst crypto scams on YouTube. 2 years ago, Logan Paul unveiled CryptoZoo, an animated NFT venture heavily influenced by Pokemon.
We have a massive team behind it and are probably out of pocket like $1 million just because we believe it's going to work.
On development.
Yeah.
For a little over $1,100, individuals would have the chance to hatch and raise animal hybrids on the blockchain. The first 10,000 NFTs sold out. Everybody bought into this. This was during the crypto market boom. However, the game never materialized. Even now, as you watch this video, no game actually exists to this day. Investors were sold a well thought out lie. So what happened here? Well, in January of this year, Logan Paul, worth somewhere in the region of $245 million, unveiled a $1.5 million compensation plan for disgruntled investors who didn't get the game that they were promised, saying he wanted to offer a rewards program for players who were disappointed in the status of the game. A solemn-looking Paul also promised to finish the game. That promise was never fulfilled. But soon after Paul's pledge, a number of investors filed a class action lawsuit against both CryptoZoo and Paul, alleging that the influencer and members of his team stole millions of dollars from them via a fraudulent venture. Now, the people in the lawsuit declined to speak, citing fear of retaliation from the Paul brothers. But then it got even worse, as in September of this year, Paul claimed he never made a single token, never sold any tokens, and never profited from the project. He also insisted that justice will ultimately prevail and that he is working tirelessly to rectify the situation.
I never made any money, never sold any tokens, and I only had the best intentions going in.
But if you find yourself rolling your eyes in disbelief, you're not alone. as in
Stop
July,
it.
Paul proposed to his fiancée, Nina Aggar, which is a whole other controversy with the whole body count issue between her and Dylan Dennis. But when Paul proposed to her, he would gift her a ring worth almost $2 million. You see, instead of using some of this money to compensate his victims, he instead chose to spend it on a ridiculously expensive ring, rather than paying back the fans he scammed. And as Crypto Zoo victims patiently waited for compensation, it seems like this day will never come, and Paul will continue to profit as a fully fledged WWE star in the hellhole that is Saudi Arabia, making millions if not billions with his new Prime energy drink, an overpriced, disgusting caffeine-laden monstrosity that is banned from schools in Australia. Like Prime, a drink that leaves a bad taste in your mouth, Logan Paul is one of those influences that is rotting your brain. Now, discussed individually, it might seem like these influences have very little in common, but they have. You see, they are in many ways a direct representation of everything wrong with today's sopilistic, self-obsessed society, where people aren't rewarded for being respectable and decent, but for being dishonorable and indecent. Influencer culture, driven by the likes of Paul and Adam22, is fueled by and incentivizes self-absorption, shallowness, conceit, and more often than not, deceit. It glorifies materialism, predatory behavior and ignorance, vanity and arrogance, all of which are detrimental to the development of a healthy, cohesive society. Before the dawn of social media, people like Adam22 or Logan Paul would have been laughed at, being called a narcissist, even a fraud, in possession of a bottomless, insatiable ego. However, in this age of social media, this is the people raising our current culture. When their behavior isn't punished, it's reinforced. These guys getting paid untold millions of dollars. And that's why today we're seeing more and more aspiring influencers attempting to imitate this behavior. And if we are what we eat, we've got to ask ourselves, what is mass consumption of influencer-driven material doing to our minds and souls? Well, studies clearly show that influencers are degenerating teen behavior. These are the leaders of our new generation. And what does that say about where we're headed? In many ways, these modern-day influencers are the antithesis of what the great philosopher Peter Berger meant by the sacred canopy, the idea that all healthy societies build a figurative shield that protects them from the difficulties of life. This canopy offers a sort of shelter for members of broader society. It acts as a glue that holds people together. Sacred in this context doesn't necessarily mean religious, it simply means something we as a broader collective consider truly important, dare I say vital. It puts the we above me, and influencer culture does the very opposite of this. It places the influencer at the top of the pyramid, and their behavior, attitude, and culture trickles down into everyone who views it. And sadly, as recent surveys show, when children are asked what they want to be when they grow up, more and more people are saying social media influencer, and probably OnlyFans star in the years to come. Just imagine millions of children growing up on iPads, being raised by Adam22, Neon, Ruby Rose, or Logan Paul. This is the world that awaits us, but maybe it's already here. But who will pull the strings tomorrow? Welcome to the world of AI influencers. And if you think things are bad now, 2024 could be a completely different picture. You see, not only will we deal with a huge increase of these degenerate influencers, but we're also going to have trained AI-generated ones. Meta, the company responsible for Instagram, recently unveiled dozens of new AI influencers. And if there's one word that describes Meta's creation, it's just truly creepy. One of the influencers is called Billy, an AI-generated creation that bears a striking resemblance to model and socialite Kendall Jenner. Like Billy, all Meta's AI influencers possess distinct personalities and resemble well-known celebrities or public figures. The AI influencers even share posts, allowing users to engage in direct conversations with chatbots or explore their feeds for AI-generated content. And not surprisingly, many of these AI models are designed to titillate and excite specifically lonely young men. Already, the online world is flooded with hypersexualized, hyperpixelated female figures, many of whom seem like the ideal woman. But these computer-generated monstrosities don't just surpass conventional beauty standards, they obliterate them. We're genuinely approaching a time when men will actually give up pursuing real women as men become more and more sexless and instead settle for artificially generated alternatives. And 2024 may be the year that we cross the Rubicon. But these AI-generated models are nothing more than sedatives, designed to
See what I was saying, yo? See what I was saying early in the video?
keep you situated in virtual worlds, addicted to the pixels, consuming more, and giving away all of your privacy. And now even OnlyFans has a huge surge of AI models. And now there's even FanView, a subscription platform specializing in adult content featuring nothing but AI personalities. But the platform hosts fake females like Emily Pellegrini, a 21-year-old AI model from Italy, and Sika Moon, another AI model that supposedly earns $20,000 per month for her flesh and blood creator. If all of this isn't creepy enough, FanView is also developing a message generator and audio tool that can mimic the AI models in real time, providing a more immersive experience for subscribers. And the proliferation of these plastic, hollow, empty AI influencers is such a hideous path that we're going towards, and it honestly makes you wonder who's paying for this stuff. I mean, the impact of influencers is already troublesome, but in 2024, their impact driven by the rapid rise of AI technology could prove to be absolutely devastating to our culture and society. But only time will tell if these AI influencers can actually replace real human influencers.
Yo, we are fucked. Well, there's no other way to put it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I said it early in the video, bro, like you would think the whole all men are dogs notion is just like, bro, we got dudes falling in love with robots, dudes falling in love with relationships that don't really exist. You got a lot of people that have like this sheep-like mentality where they're just waiting for their favorite influencer to make a move before they even know how to think for themselves. And again, with social media, we're flooded with content. The reels just keep us distracted and into our phones and away from actual reality, where we think social media is the real world. And we've now made it a real world, bro. It's very interesting times, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna start missing the way things used to be quicker than we imagined, bro. Like, and it's not to say that the direction we're heading to is just straight chaos. I'm pretty sure there'll be some good that comes out of this, but man, for every good there's a bad, and that bad is gonna get worse, bro. But I'm gonna highlight you guys. This was who was the most degenerate influencer, bro. It doesn't get worse than Adam 22. Fuck what y'all talking about, bro. He was the worst by far. By far, bro. My son was selling his wife to the highest bidder, bro. For money. And he said it. Mamba out.